What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's your boy Aranda here, and I'm back with another video. So in this video, I'll be bringing you the latest watches, warnings, and advisories taking place across the United States. And we do have a lot of heat advisories for a bunch of states coming from the southeast through the deep south all the way up into the northeast. So let's go ahead and start off with Florida. Florida is currently dealing with a heat advisory, special marine warning, a flood warning, special weather statement, a marine weather statement, and a hazardous weather outlook. Now, I kind of think that flood warning is more in Georgia. Yeah, it looks like it's more in Georgia. This is coming from the National Weather Service office in Jacksonville, Florida. So, yeah, but they also do have they're monitoring a potential disturbance off the coast of the Carolinas. It has a 10% chance. It did originally have a 20% chance. They did decrease that chance down to 10% overnight. Of it becoming something tropical. We do have this is coming from the National Weather Service in Atlanta, Georgia. They're currently dealing with a severe thunderstorm warning. A severe weather statement has been issued, a heat advisory, special weather statement, and a hazardous weather outlook. Alabama's dealing with about the same thing, a extreme heat warning, heat advisory, extreme heat watch, and a hazardous weather outlook. Mississippi's dealing with the exact same thing. They currently do have an extreme heat warning, heat advisory, extreme heat watch, and a hazardous weather outlook. You do see a flood warning from the National Weather Service forecast office from Memphis, Tennessee, but that flood warning is actually for Arkansas. Speaking of Arkansas, they're currently dealing with a flood warning in at least one county, extreme heat warning, heat advisory, flood advisory, extreme heat watch, and a hazardous weather outlook. Now, mind you, coming in on the 4th, later on this week, we do have a heat dome that's going to continue to stay across the the eastern half of the United States. West Coast, we know at least Utah has banned fireworks because high fire danger. There is currently a wildfire burning in Utah, so there has been a state of emergency declared, I think, just about 2 days ago, and the governor of Utah did issue alert and banned fireworks for the 4th. So regardless, I would not be surprised if more states hop onto that if fire danger remain high. Now, Nevada and California, or at least Eastern California, is not under red flag warnings as of now, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be back under it in the next couple of days because the GFS and European models was not liking the idea of seeing any rain for the West Coast for a bit. Well, enough rain. Tennessee currently dealing with a extreme heat warning, heat advisory, extreme heat watch, and a hazardous weather outlook. These extreme heat warnings is most likely temperatures is actually the high temperatures is most likely in the triple digits. Feel like temperatures is definitely in the triple digits, and that's what's going to happen later on this week. Many areas going through the Carolinas, Virginia, down through Georgia and Florida is going to be having high temperatures in the triple digits, like 103, 104, 105. And feel like temperatures is going to be 115 plus in many areas. So definitely going to have a bunch of extreme heat warnings issued for many states, especially in the southeast, deep south, and potentially the mid-Atlantic. Speaking of the northeast, though, we do have an extreme heat watch being issued for Pennsylvania. They all currently have a heat advisory as well, an air quality alert, and a hazardous weather outlook. That extreme heat watch has been issued all the way to southern Maine, going through New York City, actually just going through New York itself. New Jersey, the entire Northeast is currently dealing with the extreme heat watch. So this tells you how intense this heat is actually going to be for extreme heat watches, and potentially extreme heat warnings could be issued in this area in the coming days. All the way up into the Northeast. Close enough. Well, actually, we do have extreme heat watch being issued in one county for New York along the Canadian border as well. So it's possible that we can see many extreme heat warnings being issued in the Northeast in the coming days as this heat wave is not letting up at all. Kentucky. They're currently dealing with a flood warning in about 3 counties. Extreme heat warning has been issued, heat advisory, and a hazardous weather outlook. Now, these flood warnings most likely is coming from the severe storms that hit Kentucky about a day or two ago. Unfortunately, there was casualties, and then those storms continued southeastward, impacting areas like Tennessee and the Carolinas before moving out into the Atlantic. Let's see. Indiana, they're currently dealing with the extreme heat watch, a heat advisory, air quality alert, and a hazardous weather outlook has been issued for Indiana. Ohio. This is coming from the National Weather Service office in Wilmington, Ohio, and they're currently dealing with an extreme heat warning, heat advisory, and a hazardous weather outlook. Now, as this heat, if you haven't noticed, extreme heat advisory has only been issued from Tennessee down through Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Georgia, Florida, at least one county in South Carolina, but mainly into the north central part of the United States. The East Coast has, well, mainly for Virginia and the Carolinas, has been cooler versus the previous days because all the rain that we have been getting. Humidity is still high, but we definitely will see heat advisories and extreme heat warnings get issued for these areas as we get closer into mid to later this week. And also as they watch that disturbance off the coast of North Carolina and South Carolina. But again, they do have a 10% chance of becoming something tropical as well. Let's see, we can go into Iowa. Iowa is currently dealing with extreme heat warning, heat advisory, and a hazardous weather outlook also been issued for those areas. Michigan currently dealing with an extreme heat warning, heat advisory, dense fog advisory, a small craft advisory, a beach hazard statement, an air quality alert, and a hazardous weather outlook also has been issued for Michigan. Minnesota dealing with the severe thunderstorm warning in a few counties. A severe weather statement been issued. Special marine warning has been issued. Extreme heat warning has been issued. Tornado watch also has been issued. Severe thunderstorm watch, heat advisory, flood advisory, beach hazard statement, and a hazardous weather outlook. So we do have tornado watches issued for Minnesota. Would not be surprised if those get upgraded to tornado warnings. And I do get extended into central and eastern North Dakota. And they're currently, actually North Dakota, coming from the National Weather Forecast Office in Grand Forks, North Dakota, we do have a tornado warning issued, severe thunderstorm warning, severe weather statement, extreme heat warning, tornado watch, severe thunderstorm watch, a heat advisory, and a hazardous weather outlook. So there is a tornado warning issued for North Dakota. Now, either it's a tornado on the ground or the radar could have indicated rotation, which prompt tornado warnings to be issued, depending on where that sets up at. It might be somewhere right here. I want to say it's this, yeah, right here in North Dakota, mainly the central part of North Dakota. They're currently dealing with tornado warning. So it's possible that there is a tornado that could possibly be on the ground. Kansas currently dealing with a extreme heat warning, heat advisory, wind advisory, and a hazardous weather outlook. Okay, we already did Iowa. South Dakota currently dealing with a severe thunderstorm warning, a severe weather statement, a civil emergency message has been issued. Interesting. I've never seen that before. A civil emergency message. I have to look up and see what that is all about. Come from the National Weather Service. Extreme heat warning, tornado watch, red flag warning for high fire danger, heat advisory, wind advisory, extreme fire danger, and a hazardous weather outlook has been issued. So again, I'll be looking up what does a civil emergency message mean, and that's being issued in South Dakota, central part of South Dakota. Wyoming dealing with a high wind warning, red flag warning, winter weather advisory, a wind advisory, a high wind watch, fire weather watch, extreme fire danger, and a air quality alert has been issued. Now, these areas, mainly southwestern Montana and going into Idaho, they're currently dealing with a winter storm. I think it was a multi-day event, but looked like they lifted those winter storm warnings. We do have one winter storm advisory being issued in this county right here in in the southern part of Montana. And Montana do have a flood warning because there was rain embedded into some of these areas. It was really a rain-snow mix in some areas in Montana and Idaho. But we currently do have flood warning, a red flag warning, a winter weather advisory, a lake wind advisory, a wind advisory, flood watch, extreme fire danger, and a hazardous weather outlook has been issued for those areas. Again, there is still one county in south central part of Montana dealing with the winter weather advisory. Going into Idaho, they're currently dealing with a lake wind advisory. No, there is a wind advisory being issued. They're not under a winter weather advisory. They're just getting that from Montana. West Coast seemed pretty quiet. We do have a gale warning issue for the northwestern part of the coast of California, well, the northern coastal part of California, and being stretched into the southwestern part of Oregon. Then we also do have a small cloud advisory issued anywhere from the LA area all the way up into Washington State, that entire coastline. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Again, I'll be keeping you guys up to date on that disturbance off the coast of the Carolinas. I do have a 10% chance to becoming something tropical. They decreased the chance of that happening, which is a good thing. I'm still going to be keeping an eye out on the Gulf, because any storms that mainly form into the Gulf do have a chance of making a landfall either in Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, or the panhandle of Florida. And then this heat wave, well, they call it a heat dome, that's hitting the United States. And it's not just the United States dealing with this heat dome. Actually, Europe has been dealing with a heat wave, and I think France been having this heat wave pretty hard. I think it killed at least 1,000 people from this heat wave that's currently going around, I guess, the globe right now. So it's definitely possible we can see some more severe heat as we go further into July. It's really when summer really starts to, the heat really starts to intensify. And then as we get closer into August, September, October time frame, that's when hurricanes and tropical storms starts being more frequent in the Gulf or the Atlantic, and then the Pacific has a higher chance of seeing development regardless if it makes a landfall. They might get most of their names knocked off the list. There's hurricane season, as they're supposed to have a more above average hurricane season compared to the Gulf or the Atlantic. But still, it's still possible we can see, storms form into the Gulf and Atlantic, especially how hot it's been. I would not be surprised that if the heat is actually warming up these waters a lot more than they expected, because this is a terrible heat wave that's going across the United States. And it's going to be making its way to the East Coast. It's going to be pretty hot and potentially humid depending on where you live. Coming into Friday, Saturday, a time frame, you possibly could still see some scattered showers going across the mid-Atlantic and the southeast in the coming days. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to be notified each and every time I upload a new video. And I will see you guys in the next one. If you guys will, stay safe out there, stay hydrated, and it's your boy Aronde out.